Tower, fly runway heading.
Fly runway heading, Foxtrot Bravo Bravo.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land runway 13.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land 13.
Zulu Sierra Alpha, change of plans, crossover midfield, join right downwind runway 13.
Greetings, greetings, greetings from Simir Flyer. This is Dane Simir. Going to do a short flight today from Victoria International to Vancouver International, and the reason for the flight is to use the Beyond ATC system or air traffic control. I have not used this for about 2 years. Not 2 years, 2 months. And there have been a lot of updates made to Beyond ATC, which I have not experienced. So what I'd like to do now is see how it all works out. So there is a new traffic. I've turned on active traffic, and this information Beyond ATC brings to us from Flight Radar 24. So it's rail traffic from Flight Radar 24 that's then brought into the Beyond ATC servers. So we'll see what that's like as we fly along. The other thing, for those that are not aware, Beyond ATC uses so far only does IFR flights. They are working on developing the VFR flight system, but first they wanted to get the live traffic module completed, and I'm not quite sure how far they are with that, but VFR traffic or VFR module will be coming into effect sometime, hopefully early this year, but I haven't heard anything definitive. So IFR is initiated from the BATC. Let me just, not BATC, sorry, Sim Pilot, Sim Brief. I'm tongue-tied tonight. So, Beyond ATC move this out of the way, gets the IFR planning from your Sim Brief plan. So that's the first thing to know. And then what I do is I then transfer that SimBrief plan over to Navigraph. As you can see here, this is my plan. We're leaving Victoria. We're doing the Mill Bay 9 departure. Takes us to Imuso, to Alona, and then takes us up to the YVR VOR, which is the Vancouver VOR. From there we will pick up the Shark 3 arrival into Vancouver. So we'll go out on the Shark 3 out to Pemsu. From Pemsu to Goreg, we will need a vector to get us from Pemsu to Goreg into our approach. So our approach into Vancouver today will be runway 26 right, and we'll be doing the ILS going into runway 26 right. That'll be our ILS there going in. So without any further ado, let's hop back into the cockpit, and hopefully this thing will all work properly. Just going to leave this up here for a little bit while we get started. Okay, so I've already checked ATIS, so I know the weather. We're using runway 27, so now I'm going to go to clearance and pick up my IFR. Victoria clearance, November 624 Delta Whiskey, picking up my IFR to Vancouver.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, Victoria delivery, expect runway 27, Mill Bay Niner departure, Vancouver transition, initial climb to 6,000 feet. Squawk 6663.
Expect runway 27, Mill Bay 9 departure, YVR transition, initial climb to 6,000 feet, squawk 6663, 4 Delta Whiskey.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, read that correct. Contact ground 121.9er when ready for start or taxi.
1219er, 4 Delta Whiskey. So I have the automatic radio tuning enabled. You can turn that off, but for this flight I'm going to leave it on. You can also turn on an auto response from your co-pilot, but I prefer to do that myself, so I'll leave that off. Alright, so let's call Victoria ground. Victoria ground, November 624 Delta Whiskey is ready to taxi to runway 27.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, runway 27 taxi via Sierra Echo.
Runway 27 taxi via Sierra Echo. So it seems that they know the correct taxi path, which is a good thing. I know Say Intentions has some issues with taxi routes are not always correct because it's a crowdsourced system. I am not if Beyond ATC is crowdsourced or whether they have been able to acquire all the taxi routes, but we'll find that out as we go along. Okay, let's move this out of the way. And let's be on our way. So I'm flying the Aeronauto PA-44 Seminole. I discovered after Sim Update 1 my Aeronauto aircraft from the 2020 version were activated, and that was a bit of a surprise. So I'm flying the PA-44. This is only the second time I've flown it since it's been made available to me. I've never, well, I shouldn't say I've never used the autopilot, but I have, I used it once, but I wasn't quite sure. I didn't use all the functions. So tonight will be a good lesson on the autopilot.
All aircraft be advised information Lima now current, altimeter 29997.
You know, that's interesting. Information Lima.
November 624 Delta Whiskey. Contact Victoria Tower 119.7 bye-bye.
.7. Bye-bye. Okay, I'll just move up to the whole short before I call the tower. Aircraft has been completely checked over, so it is ready to go. So they want us to fly an initial altitude of 6,000. So we'll see whether we have to or not, but I had filed for 5,000. Not sure why it's changed to 6,000. I maybe request 5,000 if I can. Victoria Tower, November 624 Delta Whiskey, holding short runway 27, ready to roll.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, Victoria Tower, wind 300 at 4, runway 27, cleared for takeoff.
Winds 300 at 4, runway 27, cleared for takeoff. Now they say the live weather, or not the live weather, the live traffic on beyond ATC causes some frame rate problems. So hopefully, let me check my frame rates and see. Yeah, I'm down to 30 FPS. Normally in Victoria, I'm up around, I don't know, usually around 40. Could be the clouds, I'm not sure. But we'll see what happens. Alright, we've been cleared to take off, so let's get going. Heading bug is set to the runway heading. Airspeed is alive, we have 80 knots. We have 90 knots, and we will rotate. Okay, we are airborne. We have a positive rate of climb. Gears coming up. Flaps are coming up. We'll continue on this runway heading till we're about 500 feet up, and then we'll put the automatic pilot on. So we're 500 feet up now, so let's activate the autopilot. Hopefully it'll work.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, contact Victoria departure 125 decimal for 5.
12545. Now I'm not sure, but I'm not seeing any lights on there. No, the autopilot is not coming on. That's not very good. That's not very good at all. We have a defective autopilot. That means I've got to fly this by hand. That's not so good. No, I'm not getting an auto. The autopilot is not coming on. Oh boy. I wonder if I could use the GTN 750 autopilot. Victoria departure, November 624 Delta Whiskey is with you at 3,000.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, Victoria departure, identified, climb to 10,000 feet.
November 624 Delta Whiskey is requesting 5,000 feet.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, Victoria, expect sharp tree, runway 26 right.
Expect the Shark 3, runway 26 right. Victoria departure, November 624 Delta Whiskey, requesting 5,000 foot altitude.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, I didn't get the altitude. Say again altitude.
Request 5,000 feet.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, confirm new cruise altitude 5,000 feet.
Confirm new cruise altitude 5,000 feet for Delta Whiskey.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, I didn't get that, say again confirmation.
Request altitude 5,000 feet.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, I didn't get that, say again confirmation.
Oh, my goodness.
Affirmative, November 62 for Delta Whiskey.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, roger, new cruise altitude 5,000 feet.
No, the autopilot is not working properly in this aircraft. There is definitely something wrong. Definitely something wrong. Well, I'm holding 5,000 feet. To show you what's happened, it hasn't turned me onto this heading here, this leg. So I'm going to have to turn back to Alona. What I could do is try to activate the let's see, Muso to Alona. Tell you what, I'm just going to fly it by hand. I'm just going to fly it by hand. try to get back on track. Yeah, the autopilot had quit working, and then it started working after I had passed the Imuso waypoint. So, just trying to get back on track. I wonder if they can vector me to Alona. No, I won't bother asking them. Well, let's try it and see. Victoria departure. Could I have a vector to the Alona waypoint?
November 6-2 for Delta Whiskey. Vectors are not available at this time. Please proceed on your current route.
Affirmative. So they haven't got the vectors. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the Alona waypoint, and I want to go directly to YVR. I wonder if I could put in YVR, which is the VOR. What I could do is take off the GPS and tune in the VOR, which is 1159. And activate the nav to that VOR. So we've picked up the VOR, and I've switched from heading mode to nav mode right over here. And I've got nav mode, altitude, trim is set, and flight director is on. And what I will do is, okay, so there we are, we're going to YVR. So that's 7 3/4 minutes from here. The aircraft is getting back on track. And what I would like to do is go out here back to this autopilot and see what we're in here. So 5,000 altitude nav, flight director, we'll put the yaw damper on. No, this aircraft doesn't have a yaw damper.
All aircraft be advised information mic now current. Altimeter 29907.
29907, information mic. Okay, we're heading into some clouds here. We'll just make sure setting is at 29907. 2997, I just punched that in. We're heading into some clouds. So once we get to the YVR VOR, we will then be jumping onto the Shark 3 arrival. Oh, there's some aircraft out here. There's United Airlines, there's WestJet. These are all coming from beyond ATC. This is live. So that's YVR, then the Shark 3. Yeah, I guess you couldn't see those aircraft because I was on map mode. So these aircraft ahead of us are United Airlines, Skyways, and WestJet. And those aircraft are coming to us because of beyond ATC. Now, let's see if that has caused any sort of degradation in frame rate. Well, I got 40 FPC. I guess that's perfectly fine. I can live with that because we're in heavy clouds.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, Shark Tree, runway 26 right. Report ready for descent.
Okay, let's have a look at the Shark 3 arrival.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, Shark Tree, runway 26 right. Report ready for descent.
Shark 3, runway 26 right. November 624 Delta Whiskey is ready to descend.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, Shark Tree, runway 26 right. Verify ready for descent.
Shark Tree, runway 26 right, ready for descent. November 624 Delta Whiskey.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, descend to 3,000 feet, altimeter 2994.
Descend to 3,000 feet, altimeter 2994.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey, contact Vancouver arrival 128.17.
12817.
Vancouver arrival, just 349, flight level 231, we have Oscar on board. Jazz 349 Vancouver arrival, good day. Altimeter 2994, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 26 right. Altimeter 2994, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 26 right, Jazz 349.
If I switch this to GPS...
Encore 3157, contact Vancouver Tower 119.55, bye-bye.
Contact Tower 119.55, Encore 3157.
Jazz 763, 11 miles from Goreg, turn left, heading 310, maintain 3,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway 26 right. Turn left, heading 310, 3,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway 26 right, Jazz 763. Jazz 349, turn left, heading 165, vectors for the approach. Turn left, heading 165, Jazz 349.
Now, I wonder if the autopilot will turn me onto the Shark 3 arrival. I hope it does. Vancouver arrival, November 624 Delta Whiskey is with you at 4,000.
November 624 Delta Whiskey Vancouver arrival, altimeter 2994, expect the ILS runway 26 right.
Altimeter 29904, expect the ILS runway 26 right. Well, the autopilot has turned me. It's turned me a little bit early. I was expecting to turn right here at the YVR VOR, but it's turned just short of that, but that's okay. We're heading out to the Pemsu waypoint. Oh boy, it's pouring rain. We should level off here at 3,000, hopefully. Yep. Yeah, we're leveled off. Okay, I'm going to slow my speed down a little bit now. So now that we are not using the VOR, I'm going to switch to the ILS frequency, which I've already put in at 11195. Swap that over.
Air France 374 X-ray Heavy. Contact Vancouver Tower 119.55.
Over to Tower 119.55, Air France 374 X-ray Heavy.
Vancouver arrival, Jazz 440, 14,300 feet with the numbers.
What's my frame rate?
Jazz 440 Vancouver arrival,
39,
altimeter
40.
29904, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 26 right.
Now the amount of chatter and the
Altimeter
live
29904, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 26 right, Jazz 440.
can be turned down. So I've got it a setting of 5. It could be turned down to 3 or 2. Don't like the way the autopilot is taking me. It's taking me a little bit southeast instead of east. I'm not too happy with that.
Vancouver arrival, Lufthansa 492 Heavy. Good day. 14,600 feet with information officer.
Change here. I think I'll go back.
Lufthansa 492 Heavy Vancouver arrival, altimeter
Back
29904, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 26 right.
Altimeter 29904, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 26 right. Lufthansa 492 Heavy.
Heading mode. We need to get back on track. I'm not
Jazz
happy with the
763,
autopilot.
contact Vancouver Tower 119.55.
See all of this traffic out
Contact
here.
Tower 119.55. Jazz 763, have a good one.
This is coming from beyond ATC. And I'm just going to use the heading mode from now on. I wonder if they would give me vectors to the Goreg. The Goreg waypoint, which is the initial fix. I'll just show you on Navgraph. So we're heading up here, and we need to go to the Goreg waypoint and go in on 26 right. And this is our arrival plate here, the Shark 3, which the autopilot did not follow the correct route, and it took me down here. So I'm forcing it to go up to Pemsu, and then I have to go to Goreg. So I'm going to ask ATC if they'll give me a vector to Goreg. Vancouver arrival, November 624 Delta Whiskey. Could I get a vector to the Goreg initial approach?
November 624 Delta Whiskey, you're already on approach. Unable.
Affirmative. Alright, so they... Alright, the airport is hard to see.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, 7 miles from Goreg, turn left, heading 005, maintain 3,000 feet until established on the final approach course, cleared ILS runway 26 right.
7 miles from Goreg, turn left, heading 005, maintain 3,000 feet until established on the final approach course, cleared to ILS 26 right. Alright. I'll just show you what's happening. We're right at Pemsu, and she's told me to turn to 005, which hopefully will take me to Goreg. And then I need to get established on the ILS. Alright, let's check our instruments over. Left tank, we got lots of fuel in the left and the right. Cylinder head temperatures are in the green. So are the oil temperatures, and so are the pressures. Yep, fuel pressure. Everything is good there. That looks good over there. Alright, so I'm going to set up the ILS chart now. Let's get rid of the arrival chart. And let's bring our ILS chart up. So I've already got the ILS frequency tuned in. I just need to turn in the course of 263. So let's do that now. We're coming up to Goreg. We need to be at 3,000 feet, which is where we are. Okay, I'm going to turn a little bit to the left now to get ready to intercept the ILS. It's coming in fast. I hope I don't overfly it. Let's see what happens. I'm overflying it by just a tiny bit. Pretty close though. I'll just scoot a little bit to the left. Pick it back up. Okay, now let's turn it to, I wonder what will happen if I put it on the approach mode. I have no idea if this will work or not. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to activate it. So I'm going to activate the approach mode now. So it's on approach. I Glide slope and vertical speed should be captured. Vancouver arrival, November 624 Delta Whiskey is established on ILS 26 right.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, you're already on approach. Unable.
Okay. I thought I needed to let them know I was established. Okay, we're on glide, we're on localizer. Glide slope, we're a little low, but we are supposed to be at 3,000 feet. When we get to Totem, we're supposed to be at 2,000 feet at Totem. And that's coming up in, let's see, coming up in about 4 miles or so. Let's see, does this tell us? No, it doesn't.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, contact Vancouver Tower 119.55.
119.55 for Delta Whiskey.
Negative, tower on 119.55.
Tower on 119.55. Vancouver Tower, November 624 Delta Whiskey is on the ILS for 26 right for a full stop landing.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, Vancouver Tower, wind 245 and 9er, gusts 16, runway 26 right clear to land.
Wind 245 at 9er, gusts 16, runway 26 right cleared to land. So 245, got just a very slight left crosswind, but it is at 9 knots with gusts at 16. How's the autopilot doing? It seems to be holding us, and it seems to be controlling the glide slope. So we're supposed to be at 2,030 feet right now, and that's where we are. So far that's working. Okay, gear is going down. I have 3 greens. I'm going to put in 1 notch of flaps. All of this traffic is from beyond ATC. Okay, we're coming into Vancouver, which is a pretty busy, big airport. Let's see what my frame rate is. Yeah, it's dropping. 28 to 31. To 31. There's a runway ahead of us. General aviation parking is over here. I'm going to try and ask for general aviation parking to see if Beyond ATC has the proper taxiways to get me there. Like I said, this flight is a test flight. Okay, we are on glide slope, we are on localizer. Everything is lined up. Well, this time the autopilot is working. Right now we are supposed to be at 1,000 and 70 feet, and that's where we just passed. So that is absolutely perfect. So now I'm going to remove the ILS approach, and I'm going to put in the airport chart, and there we are coming in on 26 right. Okay, at this point I am going to turn off the autopilot. Autopilot is now disengaged. I didn't hear the beep. I did not hear the beep. I hope it's disengaged. There, it just now got disengaged. There's definitely something wrong with the autopilot. Okay, I have full flaps. Yeah, the live traffic from beyond ATC does cause a problem for frame rates, that's for sure. Alright, let's hope I can get a good landing out of this. Oh boy, I just got jitters. Oh, that was a nice landing. I'm happy with that. I'll take that.
November 624 Delta Whiskey. Exit next available taxiway.
Well, I missed that one. So I'll have to get the next available. Exit next available taxiway. Okay, this will be the next available taxiway right here. Yeah, they even have the actual, you can see the aircraft and everything. Now they're picking up the aircraft from FS LTL model matching. Okay, flaps are stowed.
November 624 Delta Whiskey. Contact ground 127.15.
Ground on 127.15. Okay. Now let's just pop over to the Navigraph map. So that's where we are. And we need to go here. Because over here is a general aviation parking, and it's known as apron 3. So I'm going to ask for general aviation parking and see if they can take me there. Vancouver ground, November 624 Delta Whiskey is clear of runway 26 right on Mike 4. Request general aviation parking.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey. Welcome to Vancouver. Say parking or advise if need assignment.
I request taxi to apron 3.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey. Say again ramp number.
No, they don't have the taxiways mapped. So you know what? I'm just gonna park here. November 624 Delta Whiskey request parking at 66.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey. Say again ramp number.
No, they don't know. November 624 Delta Whiskey will taxi at my own discretion.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey. Say again ramp number.
Negative on the ramp number.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey. Say again ramp number.
Okay, you know what? Okay, here's what I can do. So they have some pre-assigned ramps here. I'm just going to say any ramp.
We'll take any ramp, please. November 62 for Delta Whiskey.
Any ramp, please.
November 62 for Delta Whiskey. Ramp 170 taxi via Mike 4, Mike, Alpha, Mike 7, November 7, Niner.
Ramp 170, taxi via Mike 4, Mike, Alpha, Mike 7, November 7, Niner. Okay, that's going to be tricky. So, we're on Mike 4. She wants us to go to Mike. And then from Mike, we have to go to Alpha. Where's Alpha? I do not see Alpha. So Mike 4 to Mike. There is no Alpha. Mike 4 to Mike. Do I turn right on Mike or do I turn left on Mike? I have no idea. So obviously, oh, Alpha is way down here. Yeah, that's exactly what I want, Alpha. So I'm going to Alright, I'm going to turn I'm going to go straight down here to Victor. Actually, I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to park anywhere. I'm just going to pull over here and park. So let me park this airplane and then we'll just have a quick chat. Yeah, that traffic has caused my sim to freeze. The sim is just frozen. That's because of the live traffic. That's because of the live traffic. So I won't use live traffic, certainly not at a number 5 setting. I might try a number 2 setting. Or don't really need traffic at all. I'm just going to park here and call it a day. That's one of the live traffic coming in. That's not from Microsoft, that's from beyond ATC.
Lufthansa for 92 Heavy.
There's
Gate
a
70
Lufthansa.
taxi via Mike 6, Mike, Juliet Alpha.
Yeah, that's Lufthansa.
Gate 70 via Mike 6 Mike, Juliet Alpha, Lufthansa 492 Heavy.
Okay, let's just park here and let's shut it down. I hope he's not going to come in and park on top of us. Okay, so that completes our flight. We're beyond ATC. Yeah, I think what I would do next time is go up here. See, these are all set to 5. I could turn park density down to 1. I could turn departures maybe down to 2. Arrivals maybe at 2. And en route density, oh, I don't know, maybe at 3. Or maybe 2. Anyway, you can play around with these, or you can just simply turn the traffic off completely. So that's maybe what I'll do until maybe they get something perfected that it doesn't affect the frame rates. But anyway, that's it for this flight. Thank you for joining me on Simir Flyer. I'm Dane Simir, and we will catch you the next time in the air. Bye for now.
Foxtrot Bravo Bravo Tower, fly runway heading.
Fly runway heading, Foxtrot Bravo Bravo.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land runway 13.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land 13.
Blue Sierra Alpha, change of plans, cross over midfield, join right downwind runway 13.